Hello everybody, Sketchers Kid Gaming here, and this is gonna be my first, like the take video I've done in a while. So yeah, today, like I have no script whatsoever, and also notice my hair. Yeah, short. I know, but hey, it's for JROTC. Anyway, I have no script plan, but what I'd like to talk about today is communism and contradictions and why it doesn't work. Communism is a system where, like, I guess the people rule everything here. I took notes in class the other day about it. Just get my social studies. Yeah, I'm on next page. Alright, so communism, the government runs everything, controls media, property, and it's classless. Yes. So government controls everything in communism. Problem with that, tyranny. And my history teacher gave a good example, like, at a time where Karl Marx, he introduced communism. It's like, this system, like, the proletariat's oppressed and all that. I know my voice sounds a little bit like Trump, but I don't care. Anyway, yeah, he's saying, you're oppressed, and, like, the government, like, you should rise up, and the government should be there to protect you. Well, I guess it's not really it, but like, in communism, government controls everything, relies on tyranny, and a few days ago on Thursday, I believe, Thursday, when we were talking about this in class, in my history class, my history teacher, he gave a perfect example. He made a good point. He said, like, when, like, government officials say, like, hey, we control everything, we're here to help, like, it's easy to abuse that. It's easy to become corrupted with power when you control everything. When everything's a government monopoly in communism, it's easy to control it. And it's easy to become corrupt and become a tyranny. That's why it doesn't work. And, government controls everything. I mean, government controls everything. That's not good, because government sucks at everything. Just look at the United States government with education. Why should I trust them with everything, And they're going to become corrupted in power, corrupted with power at some point, requiring a tyranny. Communism, like, it doesn't work. It requires tyranny and all that. And when I hear from a bunch of communists these days, they say, it's not a big government. It's a classless and stateless society. Problem with that is that if you have a classless and stateless society, isn't that basically anarchy? And as you know, society cannot function in anarchy. So if it's a classless and stateless society, it's anarchy, and society can't work in anarchy. So why does communism work? And Marx, he said, like, the proletariat, the working class, was oppressed by the bourgeoisie, the middle class. And, like, what? How can the middle class, the bourgeoisie, oppress the working class, the poor? How can the middle class oppress the poor? I mean, Marx, I don't see any logic there. What's with another good point my history teacher brought up the other day was it's meant to be a classless society, when in fact, you got everybody, the everyday citizen, whether it's rich or poor or any of that, you're all poor. But then you got government and government officials, and they they're like royalty. Take a look at the Kim regime. Kim Jong Un and his family, they live lavishly, as I imagine most of his generals and his higher ups do as well. So if you got all these government officials living lavishly, and you got the rest of the normal everyday citizens living there poorly, then it isn't really much of a classist society, is it? More, it's more or less two classes: the government class, who oppresses everybody, the bourgeoisie, the proletariat, the rich, who by this point, wealth is redistributed, and so therefore they become poor. They're oppressed by the government. So that's a major contradiction within Marxism and communism. A class of society? No, more like two classes. Tyranny, classless, not classless. It's a major contradiction. Tyranny, and classless stateless society doesn't work. Anarchy. You can't have a functional society within anarchy. And socialism also doesn't work, as I got my notes right here. Socialism, a system in which society, usually in form of the government, owns and controls the means of production. Now, that's not by anybody. That's by my history book. So I would assume that's pretty accurate. The government owning and controlling the means of production. I don't like that. I don't like it. Free market's the best. Free market relies on freedom. You can't have a free market sanction on tyranny. No, you can't. You can't have a sanction on oppression either. A free market requires freedom to work. And socialism, communism, Marxism, and all that, I don't like it. And I don't like people, I especially don't like that there are socialists and communists in this nation. Now, of course, I'm open for everybody having their own beliefs. If you want to have your own beliefs, cool, that's great. Free nation, United States is a free country, do what you will, But my problem comes in when people believe in these evil, evil philosophies and very bad and tyrannical philosophies such as socialism and communism. Socialism and communism doesn't have a place in American society. It doesn't. And neither, if you believe in that, it's kind of scary. And what's what I've noticed is that many people with anti-fascist, which is kind of ironic because they attack people who disagree with them, like a true fascist would. Anyway, they're like communists and socialists. And the ironic thing about that is communism and socialism, although it does not require fascism, it is very closely related to fascism because both socialism and communism require extreme government, like insane amount of government for it to function. Even then, it doesn't even work because, as you see, each socialist and communist nation eventually becomes bankrupt, and they have to rely on other nations to work. It just falls flat on itself. No wonder why the Soviet Union collapsed. But yeah, it's closely related to fascism. Fascism, big government. Socialism, communism, big government. Now, obviously, socialism and communism, they're not the same as fascism, but they're related. They come from still come from kind of like the same concept of tyrannical government and government rule, and I do not like that. Fascism, bad. Communism, bad. Socialism, bad. Capitalism, good. And capitalism, why it works, I shall explain why it works in another video. Anyway, I'm coming up on 10 minutes now. That's basically it. All I want to say, and that's it. I guess that's it for this video. That's it for this video. Socialism, communism, They no good. They bad. Peace.